No. Hey guys, welcome to Alex and Andy Live, coming to you live from Shanghai, China, which, as you all know, is currently under lockdown over the novel coronavirus outbreak, which began on around about March 1. It is currently 7:30 p.m. here in China, in Shanghai, obviously one time zone. And it is Saturday the 30th of April, which is one day before the May Day holiday, which officially begins tomorrow. Alex, did you have any plans for the May Day holiday before this happened?
Yeah, before this happened, I was going to go down to visit the family, but no, not happening now, obviously. I will be in my apartment. As I've said before, we've had a couple cases recently in my building and on my floor. So I'll be staying inside, although I was able to get some coffee today, which was... I'm not a huge coffee fan, as we were talking about before the show, but it's nice to at least have from time to time. So, how about you? What's up?
Hey, I did something really interesting today. I actually, let me bring it up. I got a haircut today.
Nice. How did you do that?
Well, it's a weird thing. So obviously, I'll bring up that little graph we made. So as we all know, my compound is in the green area, precaution area, which means we haven't had cases in a long time. And then in our WeChat group today, I found out that there's a guy in my building who is a hairdresser. He works across the road at Dayuecheng, which is like a big mall across from my house. And he's been going from house to house in the area with no cases, obviously, to do haircuts. So it was really cool. For the first time ever, I had a haircut in my kitchen, which was really interesting. But yeah, haircut. And also, I found out another thing today, because I got some fruit delivered today on a Tuango.
Right.
And normally we've had it delivered to our building right here. But then the lady who organized it was like, it's actually at the main gate. And I was like, can I go to the main gate? And she was like, yeah, you just walk around. So I found out after it's already day 30 that I am actually able to walk around the street all around our whole compound, which means later on after the show, I'm going to chuck my headphones on and go for a little bit of a walk, do some loops and get some exercise.
Sure. That's a good idea. Yeah. So are you allowed outside of your compound or just inside of inside the gates of the compound?
It's weird. We don't really have any gardens or anything like in the middle of our compound, but each compound building, the door goes to the street. But on the street, right against the road and the sort of, we have the footpath, and then between the footpath and the road, they've put up fencing all the way around. So we're enclosed, but we can walk around the footpath, which is the street, all around our compound, which is really unique, really cool. So I'm looking forward to that after this. Bit of good news on my end.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, like I said, my compound is big, and we have a lot of outdoor sort of common area. There's a playground for the kids, and there's some fountains and all. There's lots of places to go and and play some badminton or run around or walk your dogs. But for us right now, that's also not an option. So for now,
Yeah, you're in the red, unfortunately. I'll bring it up again for everyone to see, because this is actually really important for what we're going to be talking about next with Young Jian. But first, what I'm going to do is just quickly mention some of the numbers. So we had a bit of a milestone, but it's complicated. So we had 1,249 symptomatic cases and 8,932 asymptomatic cases, and we actually had 0 cases, asymptomatic or symptomatic, that were outside closed loop or quarantine. But what we've found out is that isn't actually the milestone that we thought it was. But instead of me trying to explain, actually, what I'll do is I will bring in Yang Jian, who'll probably do a much better job. But first, I want to ask him about these numbers. Hey, Yang Jian, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah.
Hey, so can you tell us a little bit about this milestone? So all of the cases reported yesterday were found inside quarantine. What does that mean?
Yes, it is actually the first time that all Shanghai's daily infections were found among those who were already under quarantine or control measures. And it means no positive case was detected on Friday during the community PCR screening among local so-called risky groups. But the city has kept a quite low profile on this milestone you mentioned, and it has yet to officially announce whether it is the city's first time zero community transmission or not. And the health commission officials still asked all the citizens to hang in there and keep following the prevention and the control measures, especially the 3 areas designation to consolidate this hard-earned achievement. And the official also introduced how the city will further optimize its 2 key weapons against the COVID, which is the PCR test and the central quarantine. And first, the cost of the PCR test has been reduced to 25 yuan from tomorrow and from 28 yuan currently. He said it is for the normalized PCR testing for the citizens and reduce the cost of the social operation. So, despite it is merely 3 yuan cheaper, it means the government has been planning for the post-pandemic urban operation, and the frequent PCR test will apparently be part of it. And the second message from the official is there have been now sufficient beds at local COVID designated and makeshift hospitals under the current pandemic situation. He said there are 23,000 beds at 14 designated hospitals, mainly for the symptomatic cases and the vulnerable groups like the elderly and children and pregnant women. And there are also another 300,000 beds at the makeshift hospitals, mainly for the asymptomatic cases, which account for over 90% of the city's total infections. So he said in the last 6 days, the city reported some 85,000 infections, but there were 131,000, some 60% more discharged from the COVID hospitals. So he also asked the seniors to take vaccines. He repeated that almost every day. So despite the city government the official has been quite low profile with the milestone achievement. We know that we now have cheaper PCR testing, which will be conducted frequently, and we have enough space at the COVID hospitals, and maybe along with a higher vaccination rate among the vulnerable population. So these are the key protections for us, not only to get through this pandemic, but also any possible resurgence in the future, I think. Andy.
All right. Yeah, it's good. I mean, yeah, it is a milestone, I think. Yeah, although it's a little bit confusing as to what it actually means for us. And so I just wanted to ask you, Yang Jian, I just want to know, so when they talk about closed loop management and control management, does that just refer to those people in central quarantine, or does it include negative close contacts who are in quarantine hotels, or more? Like, what does that sort of mean? Can you sort of explain that for us?
Yeah, I noticed one of our readers is also asking the question, and some more readers are asking the definition on the central quarantine in our WeChat group. And first, we will definitely send these questions to the city authorities, and once we have answers, we will let our readers know with either our report or in the WeChat group directly. And as a key components of the city's daily infections, people who already under the quarantine and the control management might be the focus of the confusion. And the definition of the quarantine here actually has changed a bit with the launch of the three-area designation. Before that, people test positive during quarantine means the close contacts or suspected cases who test negative but was put under central quarantine mainly at local quarantine hotels because of the high risks of infection. But now we have these three areas, especially the locked down and the controlled areas. Things become a bit complicated because we now have the residential buildings or compounds under lockdown due to some new cases there. And so far, again, we have no official explanation since the three areas have been released not long ago. But we have one thing for sure that this part of new cases, they were already put under the so-called closed-loop quarantine management, meaning they have no chance to contact or infect those who are outside this loop. So again, if we got the official answer, we will let our readers know immediately. And of course, I like to thank you very much for supporting us, Alex.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, definitely very confusing times. Hopefully, we will get an answer on that soon, and maybe you can share it with us tomorrow. Yang Jian, thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
thanks. See you tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, still not too much of an answer there, but I think it has to be. I think I would almost guarantee that those cases, closed loop management includes people inside that red area that we see on the screen now, lockdown area.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, of course, we've got a bunch of different sort of situations, okay, right? As we know, and I'll sort of break it down for just for clarity's sake. So we've got people that are symptomatic, generally people that are symptomatic. We're not totally sure what that means. I think if you just have a little bit of a runny nose, that may or may not be symptomatic. I think if you have just a little bit of a runny nose or a mild cough, maybe that's not symptomatic. You know what I mean? But I think if you actually are sick, like if you're feeling that, I'm not sure where the line is drawn there or if it's drawn uniformly. But in any case, we'll just proceed. So symptomatic people are taken to hospitals. Asymptomatic people, by and large, are sent to the quarantine facilities, the large-scale facilities, most of them pretty large-scale that we've seen. There are several of those located around the city. And then you've got close contacts of positive cases, and ostensibly close contacts are meant to be sent to quarantine hotels. Now, these are people that are that have tested negative, but could potentially test positive as they were deemed to be close contacts with people who have tested positive, right? And so the policy has been to send those people to quarantine hotels. Now, that hasn't happened in every single case. I know that because my next door neighbors didn't do that. So I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not advocating for them to be dragged out of their house for sure. If they can, hopefully continue to test negative and stay at home, it's no skin off my nose. That doesn't bother me at all. But in any case, so I'm not really sure what, like, for example, if the closed loop management would include those people, like my neighbors, for example, because we are in a red lockdown area, we're not allowed to go outside. We're definitely a closed loop in my compound right now. Nobody is going outside, right? Like all of our deliveries have to be given to our door. They're sprayed down and disinfected. Everyone's wearing the stormtrooper suits or whatever you want to call them that are doing that. Dabai, right? The big white suits. And so I'm not sure if we count as in being in closed loop management, even though we're not in a quarantine hotel, we're in our apartment. So I'm not sure. Hopefully we can find out. Hopefully Yang Jian can get some of that information for us tomorrow, and then we can shine a little bit more light, no pun intended, a little bit of clarity on that issue.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I know what Yang Jian's saying, that it's not official yet. We don't have official word, But I think based on my understanding and based on the discussion that I've had with people, again, I'm not an expert here and this isn't confirmed yet, but I would almost guarantee that the lockdown area includes these lockdown apartments that we see at the top here that are red, because we see in the new cases that it includes a lot of cases in these communities. For me, it seems impossible that these could be inside what you said, quarantine hotels or central quarantine locations. Everyone who goes to central quarantine is positive already. So I am, even though I'm just using my inexperienced decision, I am almost going to call it that it includes lockdown areas here. I think it has to.
It stands to reason. I mean, I suppose it's possible that that's not the case. I'm not really sure. If the number was zero, I guess nobody in that building over there, that apartment over there, tested positive yesterday. So I mean, I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm not really sure. I think that you're probably right, but then again, I can't confirm that for everyone. And so let's wait until we get the official word on that.
Yeah. Let's wait and see, but I do also want to talk a little bit about perception. So obviously, not knowing the answer to this is also something that is going to be annoying. It is annoying people online and in the real world, obviously, but they're expressing it online. So I think it is best that the Shanghai government comes out ASAP and really, lays out what these areas mean, which areas are being counted. As we see, if I go back again to the Shanghai daily site, shine.cn, we have 0 here, 0 new infections found in the screening of high-risk people. But we need to know what high-risk people means, So yeah, we'll try and find out for you guys. Yang Jian will do his best to ask, and we will try to get that information to you guys, hopefully tomorrow evening.
Yep, let's see what happens with that. Again, we do see that the numbers are going down there. Of course, it's hit 0, but we obviously have a lot of cases still active in the city. We need to temper our sort of celebration of that. I mean, it is a good thing, regardless of what it means. It's
exactly.
Not bad news. Regardless of what it means, it isn't bad news. But just how good of news is it, and what does it portend for the upcoming few days and weeks? We sort of can't. It's a little bit too early to say until we get more clarification.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I'll leave it there. It is good news regardless. But the question is it as good as we hoped it was, or is it just good? You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll wait till tomorrow. But yeah, sorry, we can't give you guys an official answer just yet, but we are working on it. Now, I just want to quickly read a comment that has come from Travel with Jean in China, who says that the WeChat stream isn't up yet, but it is actually up. I'm not sure if you're in the right place, but we are currently live on the Shanghai Daily WeChat. So if you want to maybe check your link, maybe you're in the wrong place, you can search Shanghai Ribao Shine. Shanghai Ribao Shine. If you don't know how to type Chinese, it's a bit hard to.
You just type Shine, you'll find it. All caps.
Yeah. Type Shine, all caps, you should be able to find it. So yeah, thanks for the comments, you guys. Now I just want to flick over to our next story, which is about retailers, restaurants, and groceries resuming takeaway services. Now, obviously, there have been some places that have already resumed. We've seen over the past few days things have been kind of picking up, but apparently we're seeing more and more places, restaurants, and things like that starting to open up and offer takeout services. So what we'll do is chat with our colleague Ding Ning, who's going to tell us all about it. Ding Ning, can you hear us? Your mic is on mute. Ding Ning, can you hear us? Oh, your mic is on mute. You need to unmute. Oh, there you go.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi. So I wanted to ask you.
I'm online. Okay.
How many restaurants have opened up for takeout, and do you imagine that it will still be quite difficult to put orders through?
Yes, I'm having a little bit connection issue here. So I think a lot of the food vendors and canteens, restaurants, they can gradually open up for food takeaways, but that really limits the menu items and the availability for the delivery staff. So the situation varies in different districts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you almost answered my question, but I was just gonna say, can people living in any area get why am I being delivery orders, or is it limited to just cautionary areas, or what are sort of the limitations, or is it just different and different? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I think it doesn't really depend on what the situation is with the regarding to the residential compounds, but rather regarding to the location of the restaurants. Because if you are say you are still in a strictly lockdown compounds, you can the delivery staff can still drop off the takeaway at the entrance, and somebody would in the community would bring it to your doorstep. So. Yes. It really doesn't mean you can't order. It depends on whether the store is opening and they will be whether they will be able to deliver takeaway. Yes,
that makes sense. The location
of the restaurant,
location of that makes sense.
It's that common answer, 看情况. Now, I want to ask, do you anticipate orders will be delivered in a timely fashion? Because I know sometimes recently we've had orders made in some restaurants that have opened up. But sometimes the order comes hours later, or sometimes the next day.
I don't know from my, from what I have learned, there could be delays like for hours, and sometimes you couldn't, expect like delivery within half an hour or 1 hour apparently. So yes, but maybe I haven't heard any someone who received the next day food takeaway, but maybe some kind of unlucky situation that might happen. But mostly I would presume like several hours, like two or 3 hours would be the normal situation. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Ding Yining, thank you so much for that, and we will catch up with you again later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, so it's really the dreaded answer, 看情况.
Well, yeah, that's what this whole thing is meant, right? So, I mean, because 看情况 means can mean look, 情况 mean the situation. So 看情况 just means like, just kind of depends, right? And so yeah, I just so it's important for people, for those people who aren't in Shanghai. So during this situation, we've really not been able to get any sort of hot food or prepared meals from restaurants, because restaurants have been pretty much entirely closed, and that's because restaurants are not seen as essential, right? Some supermarkets and other kind of shops might be open, but restaurants are really seen as non-essential. And so normally in China, you can get a MI delivery to our door for any kind of restaurant, from any food, local or domestic or international or whatever. And it's really awesome. Normally, right now, we can't do that. And the reason that is, obviously, the shops are closed, the employees are under lockdown for a lot of these places, right? Now, we have been able to get some Shenzong, which is called a flash delivery. It's where you have usually a guy on an electric bike who will pick something up for you and then deliver it to you, in this case, your compound. And some limited stores that are open, every now and then you can find a Shenzong driver to bring you something that's really not super efficient at the moment. And so, but it is good to see some restaurants and shops opening up, even if it's just here and there. I know that Taco Bell is open up, but you have to buy like 5 or 6 meals at the same time, and it's not regular menu, and you have to buy extra quantities, and it's not normal yet. But at least I haven't had a pizza. Pizza is maybe my favorite food. I haven't had a pizza in a month and change, so it'd be cool if I could get a pizza. Even if I buy 6, I'll probably do it.
Yeah, I want pizza too. Actually, I did have a pizza the other day that was organized by one of our colleagues, and that's why I asked Ding Yining if it's going to take a long time, because I ordered pizza. It came like 3 days later, and I thought, is it going to be like frozen or whatever? But it turned out hot. It's just that the delivery took like 3 days to go through the process or whatever. So yeah, it can take a while. But we do have a video here that is in regards to some of these restaurants opening up. So we'll check that out now, and then we'll come right back.
在4月16号左右陆续复工，到目前已经暴增到每天最高峰的时候会超过400单的订单量。除了火锅菜以外呢，我们目前也是给一些社区啊、医疗机构、酒店以及一些物业公司提供点餐服务，就是分为一个我们这样的一个保供团队吧。
我们烘焙的员工、水产的员工还有蔬果的员工，是全部到岗的。我们店里有那个新鲜的大海鲜，还有小海鲜，鲜活的小龙虾、鲫鱼、鲈鱼等等。这些鱼虾的话是每天早上7点前运送到门店的。我们是希望顾客可以吃到新鲜鲜活的商品。
啊，我就看到一个。
购物环境很好，因为每个人都遵守这个秩序，排好队进来。
Wow, really good to see that things are getting back to normal in some places.
Yep.
Maybe not my area. Yeah, Alex, what about your area?
Yeah, no, I haven't been outside in several days, so I don't really know. I haven't been able to get my hand on any hot food deliveries or anything like that, although I have been able to pick up a few things here and there, some snacks and some other things via, as I was saying before, Shanghai or flash delivery, although that's a little bit difficult. A lot of times there may not be a driver who can fulfill your order. What I've sort of been doing, and any of you who speak and or can type in Chinese, I would say if you do find a driver, a delivery driver, who can bring you something, if you place an order on Ele.me or Shanghai or whatever, and you're able to get a driver, keep his personal contact, add him on WeChat, right? And then add him on WeChat. Seriously, I mean, this has actually gotten me a lot of stuff that otherwise I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get. Just add the guy on WeChat, work out a deal where he charges, whatever it is. The delivery fee is way more than normal, but 20, 30, 50, whatever. And then he'll be able to get you just tell him what you want. And yeah. Can you hear me now? Can everyone hear me? Someone's telling me
Alex,
I'm breaking up.
I thought they could, but someone said you're still breaking up. Can you refresh your connection or maybe restart your modem?
I'll try that. Can you hear me?
It's breaking up, but it's usually breaking up with you anyway here. So maybe just try restarting it.
Yeah, internet's been poor the last few days. All right, yeah, I'll do that.
Sweet. Okay, you guys, Alex is going to try refreshing his modem. I'm going to bring up this lovely view. I had a comment here from iGlow, who says the QR code on the screen asks me if I want to add Song as a contact. It doesn't take me to any group I can see. And that's actually correct. What happens with the QR code leading to a WeChat group is once the group goes over 200 members, they can no longer directly scan the QR code, which is kind of annoying. So what will happen when you scan that QR code is that it will take you to our colleague, Shanghai Daily colleague Song, and she will manually add you to the group. So try that out, add Song, and then she will add you. So that's not actually incorrect. Alex is back. Alex, is it better?
Should be. Does it sound better?
Sounds better to me here, but I'm not a good measure. Anyway, you guys let us know.
I asked someone else to not use our internet for the time being. It seems like we've got too many people in our place using the internet. So I asked them to stop until our stream is finished. So
nice. Thank you so much to the people you're living with, and especially your fiance. We don't want her getting mad. I'm gonna. Oh yeah. So Lao Tor says it's much better, and Alamak says it's okay. So yeah, that seems pretty good.
I do want to sort of, if anyone missed what I was saying if you find a Shansong delivery driver, motorbike or e-bike driver, who can go out and get you stuff. If you place a successful order and he brings you something, he or she, add that person's WeChat and talk to them personally. This is assuming that you can speak or write in Chinese, type in Chinese. And you can keep that person's WeChat, keep their contact, and as long as that they are out and they have their pass to be out and about in the city, they know what stores are open, what things can be gotten or obtained, and you can get some stuff that way. I've had a few different guys because the one guy, but then his pass expired and he had to go back to his, and then you know.
Uh-huh.
But in any case, yeah. But I've been able to find different guys. Right? I've got a few drivers that I've added their WeChats, and whenever I need something, or even a shopkeep as well. You know, a shopkeep of a store that's open, they can get the Shansong delivery to you. So I've been able to get a few things that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get through that method. I don't know if you can do that or if it works for you, but it's worked for me so far.
Yeah, no, Shansong is definitely a really important thing because a lot of the time now that's all you can use, especially if you want to do orders that are individual orders. So actually, I've had a few deliveries over the past month. It's been a month already. That were from friends who Shansong them over. So it's just a service, which is basically you pay kind of a premium price, and that person will go to whoever is wanting to send you something, pick it up, and bring it directly to you wherever you are. And then you'll have a little code that you'll give them once you grab that delivery, and it will give them their payment. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, Alex, if you find a good Shansong delivery guy or girl. Keep their details and get them back whenever you need them because they are hard to come by.
I wouldn't normally do that. Normally, you can get Shansong and there's drivers all over the city, and you can get. I mean, normally you don't need to add the person's contact information. You just because there's 100, way more than 100 people with thousands of drivers just waiting, and you can just shut down. You may place the order, and then one of them will pick it up. But right now, it's not nearly as many, and you've got a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Alex is gone again. Yeah, but what he's saying is true. Oh, there he is back. Yeah, there's definitely nowhere near as many delivery guys, Shansong delivery guys on the streets. So yeah, good idea. Someone said Alex is chunky again. Chunky again. Yeah, we'll try to figure it out and see if we can get Alex back. There he is.
It's going to be tough.
We'll figure it out. Okay, now we've got a bit of an economics question here, which is from George, who says, "Will China GDP growth fall below 4%? What's your take?" I think actually, I'm not an economist, but I do believe we're going to be pushing it. I think it probably will be below 4%. This time, especially with these lockdowns, it would be tough to, who knows how much below 4%, but I don't think it'll crack 4%. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, the lockdowns clearly affected. I mean, obviously, COVID, the entire COVID situation has affected the economies of a lot of countries. But this lockdown sort of thing, obviously, it hadn't affected China as much as it affected other countries in the past, but these lockdowns are going to kind of come around. I don't know as far as the exact numbers. I don't want to project that, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be affected.
Yeah, I think probably it would be fair to say that it probably, who knows how much lower than 4%, but I don't know if it's going to reach 4% at all. But we can cross our fingers and see what happens. China's been lucky over the past 2 years, but before this lockdown, whereby we were in a better place than many other countries. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we don't, like Alex said, we don't want to project. Obviously, all anyone can do at the moment is guess. Sometimes it's an educated guess, sometimes not. But yeah, thank you for the questions. Somebody said, I can't see our live stream anymore.
I can see it
on WeChat. Can you see it?
Oh no, I'm not. I thought you meant the live shot of the Bund, or I'm sorry, Blue Jets.
Oh, there we go. It's back. Okay, all good. Anyway, I think what we'll do now is we'll head to our last video. We have another video to show you guys, which is, where's my details from? Yeah, it's about jalabai. Now, Alex, what is jalabai?
Man, I'm not, I consider myself to know most of the different fruits, vegetables, and other sort of things like that in Chinese, although I'm not really sure that I'm familiar with jalabai. And I did some of the captions for this video, but I don't really know what jalabai is. So let's watch the video, and then maybe it'll hit me and I'll recognize it, or maybe I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, first thing first, because what I did before, I don't know what jalabai is, so I looked it up, and it just says water bamboo, but then another translation said it's like a fake water bamboo, or something said something rise or whatever. So yeah
you get the video. My thing about that is you'll get a lot of translations for things that only exist or that are endemic to China, different plants and things like that, and usually food related stuff. And they'll always call it these weird names like Chinese something, or or like special Chinese foods. They'll always call it like everything is a dumpling. You got the rice dumpling, and it's
Exactly.
none of them are dumplings. It's just bad. It's terrible. And so
It's
this is going to be something that we don't have in the West, and so there isn't a proper English name for it. And so you're going to translate it and get all these silly names that are not at all what it is in any way, shape, or form. But whatever, it's jalabai. All right, so we'll stick with that.
Let's see what jalabai is, and we'll come back.
台北村呢是有着70年的茭白种植历史，常年茭白种植面积呢大概在6000亩左右，年产优质茭白呢3000万斤。今年呢受疫情的影响呢，我们大棚的茭白呢目前正是个产出的高峰期。大家现在看到呢就是我们村大棚茭白种植技术最好的一个合作社上海彩林蔬菜种植专业合作社。这样一个疫情封控的情况下呢，就造成我们的运输能力不够。 在区政两级政府的大力支持下呢，我们3个保供企业共拿到了4张全市的通行证。所以说，我们3辆卡车、1辆大的面包车，每天不停的运输。送往市区的茭白的量大概在3万斤左右，产能呢大概在5万斤，1万斤呢就销售到周边的区，也是郊区，能够基本实现产销平衡。
我们辛苦呢，现在这个邮政呢控制得很好，过户车呢工人都是本村的，每天工人都给了50-60个工人，数量了才2到3万斤左右啊。茭白采出来以后呢，要看到天购以后呢，我们往外面送，团购基本上了500斤左右，比较呢普通相当多，一天呢出了这个了2-3万斤左右吧。现在吃茭白呢，最对焦的辰光。 现在呢，我们4月20号开始采，现在马上大量上市了。茭白是上海市的礼堂茭白呢最有名的，你看到吧？茭白蛮好。
Wow, so you can just eat it directly. That looks pretty cool. 可以直接吃。
I've seen it, but I don't know that I've had it before. I'm not super familiar. I definitely wouldn't know how to translate it. I didn't. I just translated it as jalabai. So,
no, it works. Because I think we saw some comments. I saw some comments just now saying Shanghainese love jalabai. So I'm wondering if it perhaps is just something that's mainly found or mainly enjoyed here in Shanghai. I'm not sure, but I probably have eaten it before. If it's common here, I just didn't know that I ate it or what it was.
It's a vegetable, you know, a kind of wild rice. All right, yeah, it looks like that makes sense, given sort of the environment in which it was grown. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, although actually in no way, it's kind of like I really like but I think that's something completely different as well.
That's lotus root. That's totally different. Yeah.
But it's like same kind of shape, and it's from underground and all muddy and stuff.
Yeah.
I really like pear.
Yes, that's good in hot pot as well.
Hot pot, exactly. They're really, really good. Somebody said absolutely delicious. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, another guy, Lao Tua, said it must be more of a Shanghai thing. I don't recognize it from Beijing market. So there you go. And that'll be why, Alex, when you were translating the subtitles for the video, it's probably easier just to use the pinyin.
Yeah, sometimes with different things, you just have to do that. You know, you can't translate literally everything, right? You don't translate Shanghai into on the sea, do you? So some things you just have to keep it as what it is, and maybe sort of explain it on the side.
Where do you live? On the sea.
Shanghai, the city name Shanghai means on the sea, for those of you who may not be aware of that.
That reminds me, Alex, should I read some of our really bad COVID jokes?
Oh my gosh. Hit me with a couple.
Let me see. I got to find it because I sent them to the group this morning. You guys, somebody sent in some really bad lockdown
like
jokes.
Pickup lines or something, which is even worse.
Yeah, pickup lines. Sorry, not jokes. Okay, here you go, Alex. Here's one. If COVID doesn't take you out, can I? That is bad, man. And there's another one down the bottom. It says, "Hey, I really like this one. I saw you from across the bar. Please stay there."
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then there's some really creepy ones here. Like, is that hand sanitizer in your pocket? Or are you just happy to be within 6 feet of me? It's a good one. One more. This one's really creepy and probably it wouldn't work at all. But here you go.
I don't know that it would. Go ahead.
You can't spell quarantine without URAQT. That is bad. That is bad. Anyway, you guys.
It's so hard. It hurt.
that is your dad jokes for today, you guys.
All right.
We will let you guys go. I think it's early. Where the broadcast is a bit shorter than usual, but that's all we've got for you. I don't want to keep going on with the jokes.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That was enough. But so we will try and find out more information about not only what this zero community spread thing means. We'll try and find out more about.
Hey, Alex is gone. Okay, Alex is gone. So you guys, what I'll do is, he's back. But he's saying we'll try to get some information
that are happening and different things that are changing. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, ka kite ano. Bye-bye.